Um, Mr. Wright? Huh, what? Are trials always like this with you? Like, you're swimming up from the bottom of a lake about to reach the surface, but no matter how hard you paddle up, you never seem to get there. Pretty much. Except today we're swimming in quicksand. So what happened to your sister anyway? Apparently she got called off to the judge's chambers. Probably something to do with that piece of cloth. So, this is why we turned this trial around, right? Our only weapon, a tiny insignificant piece of cloth. I'm the one who's starting to feel tiny and insignificant, to tell the truth. Hola, partner. They say you should show a red cloth to a bull. It'll fire up his temper. That's what they told me when I was a youngin' at least. Officer Marshall! So, I'd come to take a look-see at how the trial is going. Looks like I'm late. They got the home ranch locked down tighter than a fort in the enemy territory. That hard to slip out, huh? What is going on over there anyway? All the police I've seen these last 2 days have been really on edge. Don't you got enough on your plate without worrying about the other people, compadre? You could be worrying about the chief prosecutor's taste in mufflers, for example. Officer Marshall? The whole muffler thing didn't have anything to do with scarves. She wasn't even wearing a scarf. You don't say. Now don't that just beat all? I've seen the red breeze blow at her slender neck many times. I saw it that day too. She was wearing a red muffler. What? At the award ceremony that afternoon, Edward seen it too, I reckon. What does that mean? In the photograph taken at the crime scene, she wasn't wearing a scarf. So, Miss Starr wasn't mistaken. Well, it's about time. Remember, partner, sometimes you gotta grab the bull by the horns. And sometimes you just gotta let that bull go where it will. Time will tell. I have a bad feeling about this. So, well, are we swinging in now, Mr. Wright? If it's steak sauce, I can hook you up with some fine ribs. Ooh wee. Alright, it's back at the court. I'd like to resume? What's up? The judge keeps looking over at the prosecution. Is something wrong, Mr. Edgeworth? Your face is blue, your lips are purple, you're sweating bullets. That fur brow, those grinding teeth, those watery eyes. What's more, your eyes aren't fixed, you're doubled over, your back is bent. It can't be. This can't happen. I wonder what happened to Mr. Edgeworth. Well then, I believe it is time we continue on with the trial. During our recess, I had requested that the prosecution conduct an investigation. Oh, sorry. This is unacceptable. It seems our prosecutor is quite beside himself. Excuse me, knock knock? Who's there? What's with this guy? A strange stuffy aura seems to be filling the courtroom. Hey, the temperature rose 5.7 degrees when that man came in. Who on earth is he? It's you! Hello? Oh, hey. Sorry I'm late, Haji. The roads were packed, it's just me. Long time no see, eh? Haji, how you been? Swim much these days? Hello. No, I've been so busy. Busy smeezy, Haji. My boy, You have to take time to relax. Yes, indeed. Gee, seems to be his nickname for the judge. I'm afraid you're right. Very afraid. I'm sorry, but who are you? So you're Rhino, the attorney. I couldn't think that was you, son. Oh, thanks? So sorry about our little Worthy giving you all that trouble, eh? You know, we should all go swimming together sometime. Jolly! Little Worthy? Mr. Wright. You don't know that this is your chief of police? Chief of police? He's the top-ranking police officer in the entire district. Name's Gant. Damon Gant. Pleased to meet you, everyone. So, what do we have with this honor today? It's been over 2 years since you last came to this courtroom, hasn't it? Well, it's Worthy here. Look at the poor fellow. I just thought I'd help out by bringing this. Hey, that's my sister's muffler. So Miss Star wasn't just seeing things. When the crime occurred, Miss Sky really was wearing that muffler. But to think that it was stuffed into that exhaust pipe. On little Worthy's car, no less. It's really quite embarrassing, even for us. What's this? It's what you'd call a switchblade knife. Quite perplexing, this. Chief, what kind of outfit are you running? Mr. Edgeworth, how could he miss such a vital piece of evidence? If your investigators are this lax, how do you expect us to do our job? Now, wait a minute, Worthy. I've no desire to hear your excuses. I'm telling you to wait. Or didn't you hear me? Look at this document, where it says person in charge of investigation. There's no mistaking that signature is there. Miles Edgeworth. That's not fair. On the day of the crime, I had... Yeah, your head in the clouds because you got that award. I know how you feel. But you're the person in charge. I'll expect a written apology. What? Are you serious? Don't be too upset. We'll find a way to clean up this mess that you made. This is the first time I've seen Mr. Edgeworth at a loss for words. This kind of major blunder is unlike you, Mr. Edgeworth. The court accepts this new evidence. But I'd like to ask the defense a favor first. Yes? Just to be sure. I'd like you to take a look at the blade of this knife. The blade, Your Honor? Oh, I don't see why not. Could you open it up for me, I wonder? Yes, well, I think all you have to do is push that switch and... If I cut my finger, Mr. Wright, I won't be able to pound my gavel anymore. Yeah, but if I cut my finger, I won't be able to point at people anymore. Come on, just hurry up and open it. And tutorial time again. Alright. So I have to press this little button here. Ah! Don't scare me like that! I'm the one who's scared. Look at this knife blade. The tip is broken off. And this dark red stain. Blood? Switchblade knife added to the court record. Found at the crime scene, wrapped in the defendant's muffler. Small tag attached. This does not excuse the action of the police department. I would like to hear an explanation from the chief of police himself. I'm terribly sorry, but could I ask you to testify for us about the split between the prosecutors and the police and this knife? Sure thing. Not a problem, not even a little one. Really. Alright. Oh, this knife is special, but I can't say how here. Unless there's evidence to prove a connection between this knife and Goodman. That was a bad day for the department. We weren't in any shape to do any investigation. A detective was killed at the police department, see? What a mess. The time of the crime? 5:15. Scary coincidence, eh? It's not officially linked to this here case, so I can't talk much about it. There was a murder at the police department. A detective. That's hush-hush information, Haji. We haven't exactly announced it yet. Wait a second. You said 5:15? That's the exact same that Detective Goodman was killed at the prosecutor's office. Order, order, order. Anyway, we at the department were flustered when, as you might well assume. We're in the middle of a top secret investigation. Don't tell anyone, okay? I think we understand the police department's situation. Well, Mr. Wright, two detectives killed at the same time in two different places. The chances of that are really slim. Scientifically speaking, of course. I'd like to exercise my right to cross-examine the witness. Very well. However, keep your question focused on the cause at hand. Oof. Okay. Let's see here. This knife was found on the scene of the crime. Of our crime. I think that makes it connected to the case, don't you? See, there's a lot of things that you go on to the department I can't explain. It's delicate, okay? Sorry, Righto. Maybe there's something about the knife that will give us a clue. Let's examine that knife while we can, Righto. Evidence that links this knife to Detective Goodman. I think perhaps the pieces are falling into place. I should try presenting the piece of evidence that had me stumbled all this time. So, how were things down at the department? Present. Alright, let's see this knife once again. So this is SL. There's a small tag on the knife. It says SL92. What's this supposed to mean? I'm not sure, but it reminds me of a similar code. BL6? Maybe it's a case number. That's weird. What? I don't remember where, but I think I've seen something like this before. Something similar to what's written on this tag. It wasn't long ago either. Maybe we should check out code record again. Huh. Maybe this? Because if you look it upside down, it actually says 221 SL9. That's one of the few things I remember from this case. Wait a second. Ah, at last. An honest to goodness objection. This knife. This has to have something to do with Detective Goodman. What do you mean? And honest to goodness, what do you mean from gee, this is great. Look at the tag on this knife. It reads SL92. And this is important. Why? Over here we also have a memo that was on the body of the victim. What's this? 6 minus 7s 12 2? Your Honor? It's upside down. The printed name on the memo makes it look like it's right side up. But turn it around and what do you get? 221 SL9! whoever wrote this note was holding the paper upside down. It's a line. That's the same thing written on the knife tag. Order, order. Well, Chief? Well. I guess the cat's out of the bag. You win, righto. I win? What game is this guy playing? This knife was evidence in a case. It was stolen from the department evidence room. So this knife was stolen. Yes, but on the day of the murder. It wasn't. It was evidence, you say? Was it in fact a murder weapon? Nice, nice, nice. Good show, little Wordy. It was a murder weapon, as it happens. It was evidence from a case long since solved. So this knife was stolen on the day of the murder. It was found on the exhaust pipe of Edgeworth's car. Hard to think there isn't a connection there. How can you say there's no connection? Huh? Because I'm the chief of police. I can't just say anything I please, Righto. You understand? Try to understand, Righto. Well, if you can't prove there's a connection, more power to you. Maybe there's something that ties the two murders together. Whatever it is, I figure I'd find it to get to the bottom of this. Okay. So this is when we have to present this now. Oh, that's not it. Okay, never mind. Oh, it's not officially linked. Like, no, oh crap. Okay, I have to stop doing this. No! I have 3 HP left. Okay. The same day that the detective was killed in the prosecutor's parking lot, another detective was killed at the police department? That's a fact! Surprising! Isn't it, Udgy? I'm at loss for words. And the perpetrator? Do you have a suspect? Well, there was a suspect. Just arrested him, in fact. Just arrested. That was quick. But there's still a lot of unanswered questions. Maybe you could help, righto? I suppose I could help, if you had me by giving me data on your case. Oh, a good one! This kid's sharp! Okay, here's the deal. I'll tell you one thing, and one thing only. Where the victim was found. So tell me, where was the victim found? Well, I can't speak on where the corpse was found, but I can say the crime took place in the evidence room at the police department. The evidence room? Wait a second, I've heard of that. The evidence room? Did he mention that in his testimony just now? This knife was evidence in a case. It was stolen from the department's evidence room. There's a connection between the two cases. You seem happy, Mr. Wright. Happy. We just got handed our ticket to go down on this case. With the link between the two cases established, we finally have some leverage. Now we can get Gant to testify about the details. Okay, so now we give him the knife. What? No, that's not it? Wait. What? This 911, okay. Okay, and then murder. This chapter is so hard. Okay. Where you did that? When the how the victim was killed. Well, how was the detective killed? How was he killed? Now that's the interesting part. It was what we call the force called a stabbing with a knife. A knife? That's exactly the same as Detective Goodman. That's the spirit we're cooking now. But you know, that's not the only thing that was exactly the same. What do you mean? There were more similarities between the two cases than the cause of the death. Okay. Okay, and when did he die? So when did the murder at the police department occur? Now that's a sharp question, Rido. Very sharp. Well, my boy, you're gonna love this. Time of the crime, 5:15. Scary coincidence, eh? 5:15? But that's when Detective Goodman was killed in the prosecutor's office. What? Funny, isn't it? A murder at the prosecutor's place and a murder at our place at the very same time. What are the chances? Coincidence? This is just my gut feeling, but I'd say there's a 0.001% chance of that happening. Chief Gant, please tell us more about the incident. Chief, the defense position is simply this. The connection between these two cases has already been proven. Hey, you don't say. Well, I'll read it, Rido. What's your connection? I just had to press it. Oh my god. Yes, I'll word it, Mr. Wright. The connection is a place mentioned in the testimony we just heard. The knife found in the lot was stolen from the police department's evidence room. Not to mention, the victim had on him the case number on the knife's evidence tag. And we also know that the detective murdered at the police department was killed in that very same evidence room. Indeed, there do seem to be too many connections for it to be a coincidence. Don't look at me like that. Stop it. You two make a good pair. It took my men 2 days to find out what you deduced right here. Chief, I requested that you release your information on the victim at the police department. See, that's the tricky part. It hasn't been announced yet, and all. Can we get information? Unofficially? Sure, why not? It's unofficial after all. What, really? Who would have guessed? I'll corporate, but I can't reveal the name of the victim at the department, okay? If you're going to tell us a little, why not tell us everything? Well, Case information is sticky stuff. You have to do everything properly. Oh well, I guess I might as well try to get what I can out of him. Okay, how about you tell me the victim's ID number? Sure, why not? It's not like you'll be able to tell who it is from that. Of course not. You won't tell me their name after all. We give a tight lead on ID numbers, so don't go getting your hopes up. The number is 5842189. Well, that's quite long. Hold on. Aha. And we have to remember these. It drives me nuts. 82. I can't do it. You didn't even get the first number right. Well, Mr. Wright, does this tell you anything? The ID number of the victim at the police department. Actually, it does, Your Honor. It does. I think. Meaning. It has to be what I think it is. But what does this mean? Well, let's hear what the defense has to say. You say the ID number of the detective who has murdered at the police department tells you something? What does it tell you? There we go. Witness? What is it, Mr. Wright? You're grinning like a schoolgirl on prom night. No, it's just, I got confused. And this is news? Oh. Huh? Just come out with both guns blazing, like you always do. The police department, the prosecutor's office. 2 places, 2 detective murder, at one time. Actually, I happen to have a police ID number here. Oh ho ho! Is it yours? No, Your Honor, I'm a defense attorney, remember? This is the ID number of our victim, Detective Goodman. Shame on you, Rido! Personal IDs are top secret! Detective Goodman's ID number is 5842189. And this means what exactly? Wait. That ID number we heard from the chief earlier. That started with 82. I forgot it. I didn't get the first number right again. The number of the chief police gave us was 5842189. Wait a second, right? What does this mean? That's what I want to know. The 2 ID numbers are identical. In other words, the detective killed in the police department evidence room was Bruce Goodman. What does our witness think about that? Oh, sharp as a tack, Rido, sharp as a tack. But wait, Detective Goodman is our victim. He was killed at 5:15 in their underground parking lot. Yet a Detective Bruce Goodman was also killed at the police department. In the evidence room at the exact same time. That's impossible! So what we're saying is, the same person was killed at the same time, and in a completely different location. Order, Chief. What does it mean? No. What I want to know is, why didn't I hear about this? Yes, it's top secret, fine, but I'm the prosecutor in charge of the case. Now, just wait a second, Wordy. Don't need to get all flustered. Your Honor, the police department has made a grave error in this case. Wait. I said wait. Or did you hear me? The oversight, the grave error. Mr. Edgeworth, they're yours. What? How dare? We informed you yesterday. I believe it was our Officer Meekings who brought you the news. Officer Meekings? Mr. Wright, where have we heard that name before? Wait, Excuse me, but is Mr. Edward anywhere on the premises? I'm here, sir. At the request of the chief, sir. I've got your report, sir. You don't mean him? According to Mickens, you didn't accept the report. Hard to believe. But your officer, he told me... He said that the report had nothing to do with Lana Sky incident. Detective Bruce Goodman murdered in the police department evidence room. Mr. Edgeworth, the victim's name is written right on the top of the report. Why did your officer tell me? Honestly, I'm not sure if that officer was capable of making out the connection. He did seem challenged. Aw, come on, look at this dude. In any case, this is a serious area of a gross negligence. A gross negligence of our duty on your part, Worthy. But sir, you could have submitted the report this morning to the court as evidence. Then He's so scary. No such luck this time, Worthy, or shall I say, unworthy. What? Now, what was the second rule of evidence law, Well, Mr. Wright? Huh? Oh, well, it's, Rule 2. Unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the case on trial. And how is this rule relevant? Normally, you submit a list of evidence to be used in a court before the trial. This report wasn't on that list. So, what does it mean? I couldn't submit this evidence until a connection was proven in court. The connection was just proven by Rido over here. Good job, Rido, my boy. Huh? Oh, I was just doing my job. No. No! It seems we have come to the end of this trial. I know you're going through a tough time, Worthy. What with all those rumors? You were even in the defendant's chair just this past December. I apologize for this terrible lack of due diligence on my part. Mr. Edward, please, just give me one more day. I'll get to the bottom of what happened, if it's the last thing I do. You'd better get results this time, really. You have my profound apologies, sir. Poor Mr. Edgeworth. I don't think there has ever been an error this serious in the history of this court. I'll grant one further day as the prosecution has requested. Will that be sufficient, Mr. Edgeworth? Yes, Your Honor. Thank you. Whatever your punishment for this is, for your sake, I hope it is not decisive. Very well. Court is adjourned. To be continued.